You know, from 400 kilometers up, in the dead silence of orbit, the Earth has a way of looking back at you, and for decades, astronauts have used one particular feature as a landmark, a massive, intricate bullseye carved right into the Sahara Desert in Mauritania. It's a geological anomaly that has captivated and, frankly, puzzled anyone who's seen it from space.
So let's rewind to 1965. The Gemini 4 mission is underway, and astronauts James McDivitt and Ed White are the first to formally document this thing. There, amidst the endless golden swirls of the Sahara, is this unmistakable feature. It would later get the nickname the Eye of the Sahara. And right from the get-go, its perfect circularity was a total mystery.
Okay, so here's where it gets really wild. This geological curiosity, it's at the absolute heart of a much older and way more profound mystery. The main theory we're digging into today is that this structure isn't just a geological oddity, it's a perfect match for the ancient description of a lost capital city, none other than Plato's Atlantis. And look, Plato wasn't being vague here, not at all. In his dialogue Timaeus, he laid out a surgically precise blueprint for the capital of Atlantis. Concentric rings of land and water, one after another. This very description, it's the key that could potentially unlock this entire theory.
So let's just break this down side by side. Plato described a mountain at the center. The Richat structure has a central dome that's been eroded down. He was specific about concentric rings. The structure has them, perfectly formed from layers of rock. And the location? Plato said it was near the Atlas Mountains. Well, the Richat structure sits right next to the Adrar Plateau, and linguists believe the word Adrar actually comes from the same root as Atlas. The parallels, they are really, really hard to just brush aside.
And the sheer scale of this thing is just staggering. The Richat structure is 40 kilometers. That's about 25 miles across. To put that into perspective for you, its entire footprint is about the same size as the whole metropolitan area of Paris. If this was a city, it was absolutely monumental.
Okay, so that's the legendary theory. And it's pretty compelling, right? But, of course, there's another side to this story, the scientific one. And this origin story isn't one of human hands, but of immense, almost unimaginable natural forces.
So what do geologists think? Well, the scientific consensus today is that the eye is what's known as a complex igneous intrusion. The basic idea is that magma, molten rock, swelled up from deep within the Earth, pushing the crust up into a massive dome. Then, over something like 100 million years, wind and water just sliced the top off, exposing all these concentric rings of different rock, kind of like the rings of a giant sliced onion.
And the proof is literally buried deep beneath the surface. Thermal scans show this incredibly complex and powerful history of magma and superheated water flowing way down below. This is the heat signature, the ghost of the engine that built the dome. To geologists, this isn't the ruin of an ancient city, it's the beautiful scar left behind by ancient volcanic forces.
So, you've got this epic legend over here, and this really solid geological case over there. A case that's literally built on the idea of anomalies deep within the Earth. And it's that one word, anomaly, that opens up the next chapter. Because declassified files show that in 1965, the very same year it was photographed by Gemini 4, the CIA took its own secret interest in this remote patch of desert.
Let's put all this on a timeline just to get the context right. Plato says Atlantis was destroyed about 11,500 years ago, which, by the way, lines up perfectly with a catastrophic rise in sea levels at the end of the last ice age. Flash forward thousands of years to June 1965, and it's officially spotted from space. And then, almost immediately, the CIA tasks the Navy with a scientific flyover. Their official mission? To investigate geomagnetic anomalies.
And this is where the trail goes ice cold. We only know about this mission because of the Freedom of Information Act. But the single most important part, the actual results of their investigation, the data they collected on those anomalies, it's gone, wiped from the official record, completely and totally redacted. So you have to ask yourself, right, at the absolute height of the Cold War, a time of insane technological and territorial competition, why on earth would the CIA spend precious time and resources mapping a seemingly empty patch of desert? What were they really looking for? Let's connect the dots between the CIA's mission and what we now know about this region's unique properties.
Okay, let's put these pieces together because it's fascinating. The agency was hunting for geomagnetic anomalies, and it turns out Africa is home to some of the biggest on the entire planet. Modern science has also confirmed this area has an extremely high geothermal gradient, meaning there's unusual heat rising from deep underground. And here's the kicker. We know for a fact that 11,000 years ago, the Sahara wasn't a desert. It was a green tropical environment with huge river systems that could have easily supported a civilization, one of which flowed right past the Richat Structure.
So where does that leave us? We're left with this incredible collision of stories. The official story points to a magnificent geological wonder. The historical account is a near-perfect match to a legendary lost city, and the declassified record shows a secret government investigation into weird energy fields at that exact spot. The geology, the legend, and the redacted files, they all point to something extraordinary. The anomalies are real. So the question isn't just whether it's Atlantis. The real question is, what did the agency find? What is still hiding, in plain sight, in the eye of the Sahara?